I'm in a groove state of mind. 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 I'm in a groove state of mind.
Quiero tequila, señor, por favor.
I'm in a groove state of mind. Moving all the time. No excuses and no blame. Stepping up my game. I'm a groove student, yes I am. You do, I know I can. Read my master plan. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm
Tequila,
moving,
señor, por
yes I
favor.
am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. GrooveAsia inspires me. The most lucid daydream I've been in my dream. Working at the scene, I'm feeling groovelicious. You know who I am. Now is my time to have a groove state of mind. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm letting go, rise up and we go. There's magic in the air, I feel it everywhere. I've got my groove on, who knows who I am. Now it's time to have a groove state of mind. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. Time to bust the move. Get me your own beat. The groove where life can go so sweet. Groove has got my back. Groove is telling me there's magic in my mind. I'm grooving all the time. I'm grooving. Groove, 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 groove. I'm grooving. Groove, 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 groove. I'm grooving. Groove, 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 groove. I'm grooving. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the fifth and final day of Email Alchemy, our Groove Asia's 5-day challenge for this month of February. So glad to have you here with us today. We have learned quite a bit, haven't we, through these 5 days or 4 days so far? We have learned quite a bit on how to use that Groove Mail app. So this is just to get you going, get you started, and so you can thrive. All right, so our trainer that we have today is none other than Nick Lacani. He's a dynamic force revolutionizing online education, and as the Toastmaster of the Year, he's led the digital transformation of Toastmasters International in the UK and Ireland during the COVID pandemic. And with the background as a successful college lecturer, trainer, and technical director, Nick now passionately guides entrepreneurs to systematize their business for online success. Now, in 2024, he aims to offer effective training courses at GrooveAsia, shaping attendees' journeys towards financial freedom. And before I bring Nick onto the stage, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box and we'll be able to answer those near the end of the training. And through the end of the training, and we'll get started. So Nick, put your hands together for Nick Lacani.
Thank you very much, Karen. Give me a thumbs up. You can hear me okay? Fabulous. Thank you very much, everybody in the room. I see we've got John, Johan, Tyra, Jennifer, Peter, Karen, and a couple of others as well. So welcome. I'm so happy to be with you today. Day 5 is great. And the reason why it's great is because we get to put together the 4 legs onto the body, if you, as it were. So we're going to put things together today. All right. And one of the things that I want to go through is this idea that it's not about having tactics only. It's not about being able to do some of these stuff and then say save, or it's not about the looking at always at the lower level. You have to look at the bigger picture about your business, how you run your business, and how you can use technology like Groove, especially with Groove Mail, to go and grow your business. Okay. Now, obviously, Karen said, if you have any questions, I will take them in the end, and I've got plenty of time for questions, folks. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do here today is let's just run through exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this case, therefore, let me share my screen. Karen, give me a thumbs up. You can see that. Fabulous. Thank you. And let me hide the floating meeting controls. Now, as I said, today is about building your digital empire, about putting it together and then building, right? That's the idea. And therefore, today I'm going to discuss things like lead generation. And we've had a look at that this week, haven't we? With the idea that you can actually have lead magnets, forms, and also automated processes by which you send somebody a lead magnet, a PDF, or access to something, right? We're going to look at retaining and nurturing your customers, and creating followers as well. And I've got a couple of ideas about that for you as well. All right, but again, it's using Groove Mail. Upsells and cross-sells. Well, you've got somebody's email address in your list. They're your customer already, or they're a consumer of your content in one way or another. It could be social media. It could be your lead magnet or your PDF. They could have bought a $7 product. They could have bought a $700 product. But the idea is that they're there. The reason they're there is because they know you, like you, and trust you. And therefore, that is a great market for you to actually go and look at products and services that are congruent with your brand, with you, who you are, things that will help them develop their businesses, or whichever area they're in, to develop their habits or their work life and so on. Okay, so it's going to be a benefit to them. And finally, as a wraparound, think about building your community, and that's what this is about: building a community. Now, I'm gonna, I can see one or two people in the room here. Hands up. Tell me, have we built a community this week? Hands up. The stuff that I've shown you this week, have we built a community? Are we building a community? No? Okay. Well, the fact that I actually got people's email address, I have the basis by which I've got a form that I can direct people to, that I can drive people to, or a page, and then be able to entice them to part with their email address, and then come onto my list. And my list is my database, or in this case, a CRM, a customer relationship management database. Okay. And what that means is it could be as simple as having a list of people on your phone. It could be having a spreadsheet. It could be having a list of names and email addresses and other information on your Groove Mail module. Okay. And the idea is that lead generation, well, by an act of lead generation, you're bringing leads, people who are interested in your products and services, and in your message. They might like you, they might think you're funny, they might think you dance really well on TikTok. All right. However you bring them in, you're bringing them in on a promise of something. They've done it for a reason. And you're going to go and nurture your followers, retain your customers. So, for example, they could have bought something from you, they could have downloaded something, they could have taken part in a poll or a contest or a challenge, a number of things on there, and you're nurturing that relationship. Customer relationship management, CRM. The R stands for relationship. Okay, relationship, very important. Also, upsells and cross-sells. Yes, absolutely. Giving people the opportunities to go and upsell and so on. So we've talked about this as well, different products and services, and building a community. But that CRM is central to you, and you own one. You have it in your Groove account. Okay. Now, in terms of the CRM, I'm going to explain very briefly that it's the most important asset in your business. Okay, maybe after you, right? After that is the most important asset. Clean CRM is worth its weight in gold. I can promise you, the GLU I did the other day, and I explained that I think that my partner, my friend, the CEO of a company that I worked with, probably got an extra £1 million from the sale of the company. The fact that he had for 10 years, we worked on that CRM and had a clean 50,000 contacts who were then not only buying, but recommending us to friends and to their networks as well. And that absolutely was invaluable to the growth of our company. Therefore, leveraging your CRM, your list or lists, will exponentially impact in a positive way your business growth. And I need you to understand that. Whether you started your business or you're already on your journey, you need to understand that having that entity and refining it, making sure that you're looking after it, treat it with value, treat it with respect. And you can then use that and leverage that to grow your business. And with the help of Groove and other external products, there's a number of things that you can do with that. Now, also know your audience, know your customers, know the people there. They are your fans. They're your super fans. They're the people who say, here, and in the things that you actually share on social media or emails that you have, if it's interesting enough, or if they are more likely to go, yeah, let me share that with my community, with my Facebook friends, with my share it on my Facebook page, right? So they are your friends. That's your tribe, and it's easier to have a business Rather than getting 1,000 customers every year, it's easier to have 1,000 fans or 1,000 people in your tribe who spend $100 with you. Just think about that. It's easier to keep and nurture, and I say this, retain, nurture, and actually work with your audience and ask them what they're looking for. Ask them what their problems are. Ask them about things that, for example, they're having difficulty with that other people cannot solve. They already like you, know you, trust you. So leverage that relationship. Also, and this is one thing that I mentioned in the GLU a few days ago. I've been doing a GLU for 20 weeks on courses and communities on the GrooveAsia YouTube channel. And the last thing I did was the exiting your business. And a great way to do it is to have manage a CRM that you can actually leverage to grow your business, to help you get into a position whereby you're able to sell the company or pass it on to friends, family, etc. Okay? So if you don't have an idea of where your exit is, how do you know you're getting in the right direction? Because I can promise you one thing, folks. It doesn't matter when you start your business. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how big it gets. You will exit the business. I guarantee it. It's up to you as to how you exit the business, on what terms you exit the business, and managing your CRM and being aware of that and being aware of the high level aspects of your business will certainly help you. Okay, so lecture over. Let's talk about other items on here. This week, we've had a look at a number of different items, right? We've had a look at Groove Mail. On the first day, day one, Peter and I took you through this idea of having senders. And there's my SendGrid sender there. And Peter showed you how to use Amazon, right? Now, first of all, go through the videos that we shared with that David Lemon created, and make sure that you create a SendGrid sender. That is much easier and straightforward compared to the Amazon one. The Amazon is a little bit more bit more involved, takes a little bit more time, a few more hurdles to jump through, a few more hoops to jump through as well. But I would certainly use the SendGrid one. I've been using SendGrid for probably over a year now, ever since I started with Groove. So I would just absolutely use that as a first one. And then if you want to go for Amazon, go for it. There are some other options as well. For example, if I go to new sender, and you can see on here that you've got Mailgun and Spark Post as well on there. Groove Mail will disappear for a while, but I believe that for lifetime users, that may well come back very soon. Okay, but again, watch out for emails from Mike and the team in Miami. Yeah, and for Mailgun as well, by the way, there is a video that you can look for as well, and you know, instructions on there. But we focused on SendGrid and Amazon first of all. Now, what else did we look at? So Peter, on day 3, I believe, added recipients on there. Very straightforward, very simple, and also you verify it, right? That's fine. What else did we do? On day 2, we looked at forms. And do you remember how we looked at a form whereby went to the Tech-Led Growth website, which I've been creating, and we created this super duper report, didn't we? That then, you know, once somebody puts in their first name and email, it then sends them a report, right? But we did it with double opt-in. And the reason for that is that it helps with your domain reputation. It also means that you've got clean information in your CRM. You confirm, I mean, for example, you confirm who that person is through their email, and then you can send them a link to something either free or they've paid for it. But imagine if they paid for something and they themselves have put in their wrong email address, they will thank you because you put double opt-in. Otherwise, it would cause you an issue, it would cause them an issue, and that issue that it causes them, the first thing that people do, oh, well, they never sent me the stuff. They never sent me the report. I paid for it. I paid my $7. I paid my $77. They never sent it. Therefore, double opt-in is very good. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did was behind the scenes, I showed you how to set that up, didn't I? Therefore, let's have a look at it. Let's go to the forms. And this is the one here, 5DC reputation report. And let's look at edit. And yes, we learned how to change the look of it, change the colors, etc. And click on next. And yes, nothing to do with the design. We don't want to change anything. Next. Now, this is what we want to have a look at. And again, I want to update you on what we did. Not only did we have the name there, I actually decided to send that name and email address to 2 lists, right? Remember we looked at that? Like I said on Tuesday, try to have fewer lists as possible. If for example, you've got one major list, and one of the things that you can do is segment information, and I'm going to talk about that in 1 minute, okay? And look, tags, again, it's about segmenting or identifying or sorting information, right? So there's a subscribers list, there's the asset tags. Now, when I did this, I didn't add a sequence. And then as Peter showed you how to do sequences yesterday, I actually added one that I'd created whilst Peter was doing his session yesterday. And therefore, you can actually then add a sequence on here. Double opt-in, we looked at that. Yes, absolutely, fine. Success URL, and then welcome email. Now, if, for example, the other thing to test is your sequence, if you're going to send an email straight away, the one thing to remember is you may not want to send them an email because your sequence is going to send it to them. Do you get it? So it depends on what you put on those 2 emails, whether you're going to give some information here, or you're going to start off with the sequenced email with a certain type of information, right? What you don't really want to do is to send both, because then it gets a bit much for people. All right. Now, okay, and forward responses as well. That's fine. So you get the idea that we did a lot of that. Now, if I'm going to stop share for a minute, one of the things that I want to implore upon you is to plan things out. Okay, plan it out, because the way to do it is to say, right, I've got lists. List is where you store your main information, right? For people coming to you, leads, customers, supporters, and anybody, you can put them in there. And the way in which you can actually find them easily is to use tags. And you can attach any number of tags to each person. You can also, you can do that manually, you know, when you create the form. Yes, remember we did that? We added a tag. We can create any number in there. Also, you can actually go manually into a list, find somebody, and look at their details and edit them and so on, and including adding tags. So you can manually do that. Automatically, yes, there's a way of doing it. And one of the things with that is the idea that you can leverage certain aspects of the list and then change the tags whenever you need to. But also, it depends on what else you put in there as well, right? So, for example, you can segment the list. You can put in some logical questions. But the thing with automation is, if this person is a member of this list, then I want something to happen. I want them to add it to a sequence, for example, right? Would you like me to show you how to do that? Will that work? Yeah? Okay, well, we've not done that this week. Therefore, let's have a look. Share my screen again. And let's have a look at that. And let's hide floating bar. Okay. Here, what I'm going to do is we've had a look at forms quite a lot, right? Let's go to automations. And if I go to automations, and we've not really had a look at that this week, I've got a few, I've got a couple of active ones there, a couple of inactive ones. Therefore, let's go to new automation, create new automation. I'm going to call it a name here. Therefore, I'm going to say day 5. And what we're going to do is to add to a sequence. All right, it's just a simple title. Now, here's a trigger. And it's also if then. I don't know if anybody ever heard of the software if this then that, or Zapier. All right, and there are others out there as well. Very good, very powerful tools. In this case, select the trigger. So if a contact is subscribing to a list, for example, my 5-day challenge list, and you haven't already set up the sequence for them. All right. So, for example, they get added to the reputation report list. Click on the plus sign there. Select action, and then subscribe to sequence. You see that? Right? Or refund a purchase, add as an affiliate, unsubscribe from sequence, add to a membership. Now, some of these items with affiliates, purchases, memberships, we will look at in the challenges that are coming up in March, April, May, June. Okay? And I'm going to give you some information on that in a second as well. But you get the idea. So in this case, I'm going to say to them, right, okay. In fact, in this case, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to go to add a tag, select category, and let's go to freebies, okay? And let's call it G-Card Free, okay? That's a tag. It's a tag I don't believe I've used very much on the list. Okay, so therefore, and then click on the plus sign. And in red, in blocks of red here, contact subscribes to the list called Reputation Report and add a tag called G-Card Free, okay? Save. Now, in this case, I'm going to go to contacts. I'll switch on demo mode. I don't know what's in here. Right, it should be reasonably clean, actually. Okay, so, right, okay. So, for example, Adam, let's view Adam. I did this on Tuesday, I believe, or the day 2. You can see that the tag is rep report only. Okay, can you see that? Yeah. So that's fine. Now I'm going to create a new contact on here, and it's going to appear on the list. Therefore, I'm going to use this, and in this case, I'm going to put Nikita, and I need to put an email address on here that I've not used before. Bear with me 1 second. And let's look at this. Ooh, this is a really good question. Okay, I'm not sure whether this will work. Let's try it. By the way, you can try it too as well, right? Nearly ready. And then it's going to ask me to go and sort out have a look at my email. I'll do that in the background, and it takes a couple of minutes. Now, while that's working away, I'm going to go and show you a couple of things. A couple of things about the integrations, about the automations, and so on. Right? Right. Sorry. On here, lists. Now, one of the things that we looked at was lists. Yes. There's a reputation report. There's 2 people in there. If I click on the 2 people, there's Nick and Adam. Oh, yeah, I've already used that email address. So this may not work. We'll see. All right, you get the idea. Now, you've also got tags. And look, G-Card Free has got nobody there. And I've got categories as well. What are categories? Categories are simple, another way of me finding information quickly. So for example, I could actually add a new category on here and put in here so imagine somebody, imagine I've got a list or special things going on for a category called paid training. And then click on save. And therefore, when I create lists, I can actually, for example, lists or tags and so on, I can actually use a category and say it's paid training. Okay, you get the idea. It's a way of carving up data. Now, at the moment, if I'm on this list, I've only got 2 or 3 people. It doesn't really matter because you can deal with them directly. But imagine you got 200. Imagine you got 2,000. It's hard to manage. Trust me, I've done it. Like I said, we had our contact database, our CRM, of 50,000 contacts. And they were all up to date. We worked so hard to keep those up to date. The way to do it is have good systems, have the vision to work out what it is you want to do, but then stick to your system. Make sure the system works and then stick to it. Okay. Now, the other item I want to put on here is segments. And one of the things about segments is, for example, that's another way of cutting data. All right. Now, if I just show you on here while I'm showing you that, bear with me 1 second. Here's the email. We just need you to confirm your subscription. Click here. Remember, this is a double opt-in. Okay, that's a double opt-in. And then it goes to this page here saying, yeah, your email is confirmed. Your report has been sent. Check your inbox within 10 minutes. Okay, we'll see about that. We'll see when that actually gets there. Okay, so I'll bring up the email when we get there. Now, in the meantime, oops, right, let's have a go. In the meantime, if I go to new segment and put in test, create segment, takes a few seconds. Right. So what is included? Therefore, I can put anybody who's subscribed to a list. Okay. So this is what we call an and statement, or you can put an or statement if you're going to put different conditions on it. The way to segment it is like cutting up a cake. Now, nobody cuts up a cake the same way as everybody else. Why is that? Because there's always different number of people at your birthday party, right? When Tyra was having a birthday party for a family member, was it three slices you made, or was it 13 or 23? We don't know, but it depends on how. So each one you want to cut up in a different way, and that's what you're doing with this. So this segment, we're going to go and say, yep, subscribe to the list. Well, which list is it? Reputation report. Click the plus sign, and then say, right, is anybody excluded in this? And here, I want to exclude anybody that has the tag. Okay, so in freebies, let's find the tag, BTR. Okay. All right. So if I click on reload, there are 2 people on my list. 2 are active, none are active. So therefore, 2 are going to be picked up on my list. Yes. You get that? Because none of them have got the, in fact, I'm telling you, none of them have got this tag BTR, right? However, if I go through and say, right, marketing, and then select rep report, and then plus, and see this and here? No, I don't want that. I want to get rid of that condition there. Okay, so excluded, anybody with the rep report tag is going to be excluded. Well, let's reload this and let's see how many people are going to end up in the segment. None, because both of those people have got those tags, and we did that on Tuesday when we added that tag in, right? Save and exit. So this segment test segment has got nobody in it. All right. But if I go and edit it now and say, right, I don't want anybody excluded, save and exit, we know that 2 people are going to get the email or be a target for whatever you're trying to do with them. Okay. Thumbs up, Johan. Good. Okay, brilliant. Now, in the meantime, let's see if my email has come in. And I've got my super congrats email on here. There you go, super congrats. Download my PDF from here. Yeah. So that double opt-in has worked, hasn't it? Brilliant. Now, has Nikita made it into my list? Okay, let's go to lists. Lists, reputation report. Now, it's only saying 2 at the moment. Have a look at this. Look, refresh. All right, now it's not showing it in there. Now let's see. Let's go to edit. Oh, sorry, not edit. Let's go to the number 2 here. Okay. Now, what's happened is because I already had that email address in there, it didn't accept it. But you get the idea that what would have happened was that what would have happened was that they would have been added to that list, and then the sequence would have kicked in for that user. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to take time to actually show you that now, but those of you who want to can actually certainly go ahead and try it out, and you will receive sequenced emails. All right. Now, let me just go through a couple of these other items on here. So we had a look at automations, forms automations, campaigns. Now, Peter had a look at this, didn't he, with the sequences, the professional email template, and so on, and with the broadcast as well, I believe. Now, lists, we've gone through all of this on here. And finally, contacts, and Peter covered imported contacts as well, I believe. And these are the contacts that I currently have on this particular system. So we've covered a lot of ground on here. And I wanted to show you one more thing before we take any questions, okay? Now, what I wanted to do was to give you an overview of where we are and where we're going. And there's a reason why I want to do this, very important. Okay, so first of all, we know that with Groove, we have a number of modules in there. And with these modules, in January, we had Groove Pages. This month, we've got Groove Mail for our 5-day challenges, right? Next month is going to be GrooveFunnels, all right? Now, today, what I'm saying to you is that we're talking about a CRM. We're talking about lead generation, retaining your customers, nurturing your community, having upsells and cross-sells, etc. So that's more higher level ideals. And remember I said, look at it from a higher level. Plus there's other things as well. It's like a whole marketing strategy or a digital marketing strategy, email marketing strategy, whatever you want to call it. Now, in reality, in terms of the tactics that you can use, right? So you've got your strategy. Strategy is a number of tactics to actually go and achieve the end result that you want for your strategy, which is things like we learn how to use forms, connected them to lead magnets, maybe even free, maybe even small purchases or larger purchases. You can also have a strategy to include engagement and nurturing and retention with things like contests, having email sequencing, keeping in touch with people regularly, engagement on social media, free training courses and challenges that you're running, things like that. And also showing, listening to your community. And again, I mentioned this earlier, growing your community. And also, once they're a customer, what else are they interested in buying from you? What else is it that you can do in order to benefit their lives or their businesses? And so, for example, give them early access to things. Give them, I've sold courses to people and I've said, hey, this is a 50% discount for my community, and I'm going to sell this to you, and it will be available in April. I've sold them something, and here's a date by which you must go and purchase. I sold them courses that didn't exist, but because they know me, like me, trust me, and said, hey, I can see the value in this, I'm getting 50% off, they go ahead and purchase it. And that shows me I've got a market. Then I go ahead and make the course. Okay, I've done this with courses. I've done this with packages, consulting packages, support packages, and training, a number of things. Okay, if you know you've got a market there, great. Well, sell it first. Set expectations, but then yes, do deliver very, very well. It can be done. Okay. Now, next challenge, as I said, is going to be this GrooveFunnels, and it's going to be in 4 weeks' time. So starting Monday, 11th of March, if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, or Sunday, 10th of March, if you're in the Western Hemisphere. Okay. I'm going to give you these details again before we finish. However, at that point, I'm just going to go. We had quite a quick run through on that. I can see there's lots of messages on there. Therefore, we have roughly 15 minutes to actually take any questions that you want in the room. I can't see. Okay, let me see from the chat. Karen, can people unmute themselves if they wish?
Yes. Just kind of
Okay.
raise your hand beforehand. We do have some questions in here.
Okay, great. Well, just, yeah, let me know what they are, please.
Okay, sure. Some of Peter's have answered, but I'm going to go ahead and just share
All right,
them so everyone can hear them. Okay, so we have question. Let me go to question 1 from Jennifer. Can you give us some examples of tags and how to do them automatically and manually?
Right. So as I mentioned, have a look at day 2. What I did was I created a form that you can put onto a web page and have it connected, and then it adds tags automatically. You can have one tag or you can have multiple tags. All right. And the tags are little codes that are unique and that you know what that is. Okay. And it's very good that, for example, back in the day when we had our huge CRM, every time we send an email shot to people, or like an offer, we wouldn't send it to 50,000 people. It was just no way. We would send it to perhaps we would bank on sending a special offer to people once a year at least. So we would send it to, instead of 50,000, we would actually send it to maybe 4,000, 5,000 people only. But what we used to do was we had a little code or a tag so that when they called up on their system, on their record, we know which offer they're talking to us about. Right? But manually, I showed you how to go in somewhere and add a tag, right? So that's available to you as well. Is that okay, Karen?
Yes. Another question. Do you want your categories to be very broad, like paid training, rather than training 1, training 2, etc.? Or do you want to?
I think that I think it's down to you. I think that, again, plan it out. I mean, you saw how visual I am and putting things on the screen. Just, lay it out. So, for example, you can have a list. You can have the categories. And the categories I normally use are things like, these are freebies. This is marketing. Could be paid, could be, or marketing and then paid marketing. Training, consulting, things like that. So I personally would use categories as wider aspects. Now, other parts of Groove, for example, videos, you've got the ability to create the wider, like high-level categories, and then have subcategories as well. Okay, so I normally use them as high-level, and then drill down even more with tags.
Okay.
Okay.
This is from Johan. He asks, Amazon SES, can you add other domains and email addresses straight into create identities and configurations without starting a new setup?
I'm going to defer to Peter on that. He's the expert.
I was just going to say I've got this one, Nick. Yeah, you can. So I actually answered it in the chat.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Just use the same process. You add a domain identity and a email identity, and then you add the DNS records into where your domain is hosted, whether it be in Cloudflare or within the Groove. So yeah, you can. I do multiple email accounts for myself as well as my client businesses as well, clients business emails as well. So yep, definitely can. And there was a bit of a mention by Jennifer earlier about the some of her emails are, even though using the Amazon SES, some of the emails are going into junk mail. I actually mentioned there as well. I've had that as well. It's kind of random. I'm having some go to the junk mail, and then I'm actually having some that go actually into the inbox. Not sure what's happening with that at the moment, why it's doing that. I know that there's a kind of a lot of restructuring going on in terms of emails across the board. Maybe it's just a matter of time, just letting it all sort of settle. I know that Groove is working on some stuff behind the scenes with Groove Mail as well. That could be part of what the issue is. And just remember, look, when you get stuff like that, just know that there's stuff that Groove is actually doing in the background at the moment with the deployment of the Groove.ai white label. And if some of you recall, and I was just talking about this with Karen and Nick before this session, is that back when we went on to the Groove.ai backer, Mike mentioned that, what if we're a Groove.cm lifetime member as well as a Groove.ai backer, then you're going to have the you're going to have the benefit to be able to create websites using AI within the system. So that's probably a lot of stuff they're working on at the moment, is trying to integrate everything, restructure things as well when it comes to all the different apps on the platform. So don't panic. Just know that could be the case. They're not going to actually notify everybody of every little single thing that they're actually doing, whether it's a bug fix or whether it's implementing little updates here and there. They're not going to notify of every little thing, because it takes a lot of time and energy to actually do that. Just know that at some point you're probably going to you're going to see one overall update for a group of things or whatever. So and I say this because sometimes we can inundate support for no reason at all, but if you're not too sure how this all works and things like that, obviously you're going to probably get hold of support and try and sort of get some answers. And at the moment, support are pretty much under the pump, so they may not get back to you when you want them to. So just remember, there are things like that go on in the background. Give it some time, and then it might actually you might find that it will fix itself, and we'll then hear about it. But other than that, yeah, back to you, Nick.
Great, thanks, Peter. Any more questions, please, Karen?
Yes, you do have one more from Jennifer. Can you cover how you got the arbitrary link in the verification confirmation or the confirmation success pages that we did earlier this week when you were creating the forms?
I did say that if we have time, I'll show people how to create those pages, right? Is that what you meant, Jennifer?
We have time.
It's not creating the pages. I've got the pages, but when I do the links, then it just goes to the /confirmation or /verification. It doesn't give an arbitrary number, like how you said, then I'm going to put it back in again, and then people won't know what the actual page is.
Right. Okay, I'll run through that. Okay, so I'll hold that for one minute. Are there any other questions right now, Karen, before I do that? Doesn't look like it. Okay.
No, you're good to go.
Okay, so Okay, so this also takes me on to the next thing I want to cover as well, and I wanted to make sure that I do this. So, for example, if I share my screen again, this time on the other screen, and right, give me a thumbs up if you can see my builder. Thank you, Karen. And let's hide those buttons. Okay, now, one of the things that I did was the pages that I had, therefore with the verification page there and so on, and with the confirmation page as well, I've got some randomized numbers there. I mean, I literally just put my fingers and thumbs on the keyboard. I didn't know, between 6 or 8 characters or 9 characters maybe, and I just put some splurge in there. That's all. I had absolutely random, thing in there. And yes, you're right. The idea is I want to stop people guessing, right? Because don't forget, when we hit the verification page, so for example on here, when we hit the confirmation page, although I don't do it, here it says it's confirmed and I've sent you the stuff by email. And to me, that's probably good enough because it's gone to their email. Now, what some people do is to say, oh, okay, I'm just going to give them the stuff here. Now, it could be a link to your diary to book a free session. It could be a link, a download link for the report. It could be a video that video training or whatever it may be. Now, if somebody guesses that, they've got access to it without getting the going through the verification process, without actually confirming their email address. Okay, so that's important. And also, you may actually be charging for something like this as well, and therefore you don't want to give away free access to things that other people are investing in. All right. Now, basically, what I did was, imagine that this is one of the pages. So this is the confirmation page, and where it's got the confirmation page, it says 5DC confirmation right there, and that's 5DC confirmation, right? Now that's the simple name or the English name, right? The best way I can describe it. If I go to settings, and on here you can see that it's 5DC confirmation. That's the page name, right? The page slug, which is what's on the URL bar. So techledgrowth.com/whatever, it's confirmation and then the number right there. Okay, because when I saved it, I put those characters in there. So for example, if I go and change this now, and I'm going to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I save that. Obviously, it's going to break my. Okay, you didn't like that. What happened there? Let's try it out. It's going to break my form, isn't it? Right? Okay, there you go. Look, confirmation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And if I save it and I publish this page, okay, so after a minute, it's going to go and then this button here, go to the published page. Okay. Now at the moment, you can see, oh look, there you go. That was quick. Happy with that. Oh, okay, you can't see that. All right, you get the idea. Look, confirmation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can control when you save pages of what it shows on the address bar there, and then you can randomize it there. Okay, does that make sense, Jennifer? I hope.
So so the sequence that looks really arbitrary is actually not arbitrary. It's the same for everyone, but people will probably not try and figure it out. So that's just sneaky. Okay.
Hey, no, it's not sneaky, it's smart. Okay. Because you're protecting your IP, your intellectual property, or you're protecting your customers from having other people. It's like having a sweet shop, and then you charge some people, but then other people rush in and put their hands on your chocolates and then walk out without paying, right? And that's not fair on anybody, especially you. That's all it is, right? Okay, look, this is a really good question, because one of the things I said to you on Tuesday was that, look, I created a page, and I create these are my pages, and there's 2 pages out here for the verification and confirmation. Now, would it be a good idea if I showed you a way in which to create funnels that are grouped together, that work with each other, that may have, 1 page, 2 pages, 3, 4, 5 pages even? Would that be a good idea to learn? Well, stay tuned for the next 5-day challenge. Sign up. GrooveAsia.cm/challenge. Actually, folks, look, we're going to go and do a lot of work on funnels over here, and I'm going to show you how to use this, leverage this, and do a lot of work on it. Okay. And also, before I finish, let me just share with you one screen over here, which is the slideshow again. And not only what the next challenge is. So, for example, what are funnels? Why? Again, I'm going to go through the high level, get you to understand what funnels are and why they're useful, and why they're more useful for what you're trying to do compared to creating just web pages like I've shown you. All right. Also, how to plan them, prepare them, manage them, and also this processes under the hoods and the things that you can do and put it all together. Again, you're going to be using things like not just Groove Mail, but funnels, pages, a number of different variety of tools. Okay. Now, again, when is it? Well, it's if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, it's going to be 6 a.m. Kuala Lumpur time, Monday, 11th of March for 5 days. Or in the Western Hemisphere, it's going to be Sunday, 10th of March for 5 days. And that's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. On that particular day, folks, we picked it for a reason. The USA and Canada changed their clocks and spring forward. All right. Now, I don't believe we have any more questions, Karen. Give me a thumbs up, and I will then pass to you. Fabulous. Thank you very much. And folks, it's really important for you to remember is that we're teaching you some of the tricks and some of the methods, but I also need you to understand that all of the work that we teach you is to do with mindset. It's about understanding where you are in your business and how the platform like Groove can help you, and what other things that are in play. And always be prepared to look at a high level, but then dive in and get your hands dirty and play with the console. And that's what we're teaching you as well. All right. So we're teaching you different levels. With that said, it's been fabulous. I'm so glad that you've hopefully got the benefit of this. Please feedback to us on the Facebook page. And it leaves me to say thank you to Peter, amazing co-trainer. Thank you to Karen, amazing program director. And back to you, Karen. Take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much. And I want to give Nick a round of virtual applause. Wonderful, wonderful. And looking forward to the GrooveFunnels training and attaching different funnels next month in March. So make sure you sign up at GrooveAsia.cm/challenges. And if you're interested, if you have missed any of the 5-day challenges that we've had thus far, you can always go to our Facebook group. You can go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GrooveAsia.cm. And you can go to the events tab here. And when you go to the events tab and click on it, it will take you to, let me get here. It will take you to the events. So all the events that we have done this week are located here. Also, our GLUs are located here if you're interested into those. But our past 5-day challenge days are here. Day 1 and day 5 will be put up here in just a few hours from now. And you could click on either one, the one that you have missed. Once you click on it, the video is going to be uploaded. This is the one from yesterday. So you can always review the replay. Also on day one, Nick and Peter both gave out PDFs, and where you get those, you go under the files menu in our Facebook, and the domain reputation and SMTP drivers, and the Amazon SCS, our resource page, are files that are located here. So just go under there and you can get the files from day one. Also, GrooveAsia has a lot of things that are going on and that are coming up. Peter, again, is going to be training just next week in the ecom business. So if you go to GrooveAsia.cm /resources, you have our resource page here. There's a lot of resources that are on here, but I do want to draw your attention to our calendar. When you click on the calendar, you get to see all the events that are coming up. And right now, we're here on our last day of the 5-day challenge. This is Eastern Standard Time right now. And next week, we have the e-commerce workshop that Peter's going to be doing, the virtual speaker insider sequence, which will be a week after that. And also coming up on the 1st, it'll be the sales and leadership opportunity. And that is on the 1st of March, starting at 8 p.m. GMT +8, that's Hong Kong and Malaysia and Singapore, and that's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the East Coast of the US. So those will also be available. Okay, so that ends it for our 5-day challenge. Thank you so much for our trainers. Give a round of applause. And I want to give a round of applause for you for being here, because you are our action takers and you're the ones that are going to be grooving. Definitely be grooving. And so I'm going to wind this up and clear this out. Thank you so much. And until next time, you have a great rest of your evening, morning, or afternoon.
Hi, this is Simon Leung with GrooveAsia.cm. Are you already a part of the #1 community in the world? If not, do so right now for free training and support, along with live sessions to help you succeed. Start now by joining us in our private Facebook group and get more exclusive video content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications turned on for all updates. Join our community right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the inside at GrooveAsia.cm.